What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about if Jakob will die in F9. Jakob being, obviously, John Cena's new character in the Fast and Furious franchise. So, I want to say, a couple things early on. Well, number one, pardon the cold. I have a pretty bad cold when I'm recording this video, so you'll have to just kind of push through. I'm pushing through in terms of trying to make it engaging. And then second thing, actually on topic, is that I know people have seen this. So I actually covered this on my second channel. There's been early impressions. There's been people that have actually gone to the movie theaters to see it. I don't think you're allowed to give review scores. There's like 6 scores on Rotten Tomatoes right now, but I'm pretty sure you aren't supposed to do that, at least when I'm recording this. So I know people may have already seen it. I know there's opinions out there. I guess don't spoil it, and hopefully that doesn't take away from the fun of predicting things. Last week we talked about Tej, right? If he could die, and I get it could maybe not be as fun if we already know, if somebody out there has already seen the movie. But I want to talk about Jakob in this video because I do think there's the best odds of anybody dying in this film. I really do think Tej/Roman could do it. I understand what people were saying even in that Tej video, or maybe it doesn't make sense. They filmed or you could see in the trailers the barbecue. I keep calling it picnic. I guess it could be whatever you want, but the family scene. They always have the family scene, and if you think that's the ending of the movie, which I don't blame you if you do, and I think that's probably right, to be honest with you, then they're both there. So they may be safe. But John Cena, or Jakob, he, I feel like, is a lot more at risk. So let's talk about this. I think there's honestly a couple different ways this could play out. He, in my opinion, or at least what we kind of know from the trailers, seems to be like the secondary villain, but the one who pulls the most weight. Sometimes it happens, in movies or games where you may not be, the primary antagonist, but you actually, are more screen time and more important, just in a general way. So Cypher is back. I actually like that. I like Charlize Theron doing it, in 8. I think it was probably a smart move to keep her around, because I do think there could be more with that character, that whether they want to transfer it to a higher villain at the end of this movie or the next movie, the issue is there's this movie and now 2 more. So like if you keep Cypher, and I know I bring up Cypher when we're talking about Jakob, but part of the thing is I think if anything's kind of obvious about this movie, okay, besides it going to be over the top, besides it going to be about family, besides like the core tenets of any Fast and Furious film, I do think one of the most obvious things that I think we all expect is for Jakob to turn out to be good. Now, I do believe he's bad. I do believe he has evil intentions with Dom and the family, Mia, all that stuff. But I think specifically, the way they even frame the trailer. Now, he could give a very different answer when we see the movie, but when Cypher says, like, but will you be able to, like, brother versus brother, but will you be able to kill him, basically? And he has this face that almost is like, I don't know if I could do it, but it's very easy or very possible in the actual movie. He says, yeah, like there's no second guessing that I'm going to take him out. So, I think they frame it in a certain way where you could imagine this doing it. Another thing is, again, the movies are always about family. And although one of the primary negatives that I've seen people say about F9 is the over-the-topness, which at this point, if that surprises you, I do think is actually kind of a big problem. But, the over-the-topness is one thing, but there also was talk that there is heart, there is emotion, there is that kind of thing in this movie. So I would not be shocked whatsoever if Jakob turns to the light, very much a dark side to a light side kind of switch, for the simple fact that he is family. I mean, he's Dom's brother, but not just Dom, obviously Mia, right, being in this movie. So I just find it very hard to believe that you could have somebody literally linked as a brother to you in this film franchise, and for you to not for you to go through the entire movie and be no change in your character. And also, that's just a good storytelling. That's just a good movie thing. Characters have arcs, right? That's something we kind of all expect. So if he's just bad the entire time, if there's no kind of conflict in him, you gotta imagine there'd probably be conflict in Dom, right? Because we don't know why this happened or how this happened. We don't know what he feels about the situation now, all that stuff. There's clearly, I would imagine, going to be conflict with inside Dom, maybe Mia, maybe Letty, all that stuff. But you have to imagine Jakob is the same thing. And again, the reason I bring in Cypher is because you really, I would imagine you have 2 choices here. You either maybe there's a couple spin-offs from those two choices, but I do think Jakob turns good at the end of the movie. And then the question would be, does he sacrifice himself to take out Cypher? Does he sacrifice himself for his brother slash family, right? Does he sacrifice himself and end up not actually dying? Those are really, in my opinion, kind of the options. So he could take himself out by taking Cypher out, and I think that may be a smart move. I do want to talk about Cypher in her own video, coming up, because, I don't think I'd mind necessarily if the villain for 8, 9, 10, like if that was your trilogy, right? A villain for 3 movies is actually quite a bit. You could argue it's kind of one too much. Most villains that have that kind of screen time normally are only 2 times in it. But remember, the movie was originally, when they filmed F9, they were imagining 10 was the ending. But because of all the stuff around the world and because of the delay and all that stuff, they rethought about it and they said, no, now there's going to be 2 more. So the interesting thing is, if you kept her around for 8, 9, 10, I don't think it would have been the worst thing on planet Earth, right? Because it's 3 movies, it's a trilogy. It could even be like her trilogy, like her as a villain. But when you have it being 4 movies, that obviously does something. So again, for Jakob, I feel like, Dom could take Cypher out. Obviously, the Shaw brothers try to take him out, but I think Jakob makes the most sense to do it. So he could either, again, take her out and he could die. Maybe he tries to take her out and he still dies. One final thing I do want to say is, and I didn't even plan to find this, but one day I was on my phone, and the recommended on YouTube on my phone is slightly different than when I'm on my computer on YouTube, and I saw a video, probably because I was into watching Fast and Furious YouTube videos at the time on my phone, and I saw a video of behind the scenes of Vin Diesel, right? Because he did kind of those, I don't know if he did daily update kind of vlogs, but he did at least weekly, and they had it with John Cena's character, and it seemed like it was on a doc kind of thing, where there would be just a lot of things going on. It wasn't a family scene. And now movies are not filmed in order. I understand that. I'm not saying the final shot with John Cena, if it was the picnic or the barbecue, it's oh, obviously he makes it. Well, they could have filmed that first. That could have been the last thing they filmed. That could have been the 23rd thing they filmed. You don't really know. But when they were talking, they were saying constantly, everybody was saying that it's a very bittersweet ending to him. Now, that could very much, in my opinion, why would you say something like that? Almost sounds like you're going to learn to love this character or to understand him better. You're going to see the change in him, and then it's bittersweet because there is a change in him. Maybe he can join the cast, all that stuff, and then he dies. I think that's something that would add weight. And although, again, the impressions of the movie is that it's too over the top, that's what Fast and Furious is now anyway. But they still have insanely emotional, I would say, weight to them. 5, 6, specifically 6, 7, obviously quite a bit, specifically with Mia and Brian. And then even 8, Vin Diesel does a really good job, a really good range in 8 with a lot of different things. So I think you could do that. And I think, why would you say it's bittersweet in that way? You could say it's bittersweet because they're having so much fun with him that now it's time to say goodbye, and they'll see him again in 2 years when they film, F10. They could mean it that way, but I just think they could also mean it as you're going to learn to like him. He's going to do something kind of heroic, but he's not going to make it out. So I would say Tej, probably not. It was a fun theory. I enjoyed making that video. Jakob, much more likely, I would say, to be killed off. So let me know, guys, in the comments below. What do you think? Again, please, for the love of God, no spoilers if you actually do know. But if you don't know, do you think he could maybe be killed off? How do you think it happens? Maybe with Cypher. Maybe with something else. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel. Hit the bell icon. Give this video a like if you did like it. I'm trying to do at least one Fast and Furious video every single week. We will probably be picking it up as we get closer to F9, and then we'll have loads of videos when I actually get to see, when the normal people out there actually get to see the movie, okay? Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you all on the next video.